Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade. So I was just congratulating you. What an incredible film you guys have put together. Can't wait to see the Oscar nominations roll in. This story, powerful, and it really shows the complexity of what silence can do in a community. Talk to me about being able to tell this story and really expose what was happening.
I mean, for us, that was always a key theme. What you just said, it's a collective failure in some ways, right? I mean, everyone knows that the church wasn't a great actor here, but I think what a lot of people don't think about is to what extent, cops and, lawyers and politicians and even newspapermen sort of look the other way on occasion. And I think that's, because, look, the church is a phenomenal, the church is a good institution. The Catholic religion is a lovely religion. It's tough to look at this, and yet it's so important to look at this. And so for us, it was really about not only, going and, looking at the parts of the story that were about where the church and that system was problematic, but also looking at the lawyers and the cops and everyone else who had perhaps through, it's a very human reaction, but had just looked the other way.
Did it blow your mind? Because watching this, you almost think something like this couldn't happen in a major metropolitan city, and yet it happened. When writing this story, did it still seem like, holy cow, I can't believe this really happened?
I mean, yeah, and holy cow, I can't believe it's probably still happening in a lot of places. And I think, the scale and scope of it is pretty enormous. But even within that community, just the scale and the scope. And watching, I think we had the great good fortune of spending a lot of time with these reporters. And really, because that was really the only way to get at the story. And we went back to them time and time again. And they would always talk about how it felt like at first they were opening a box. And then they realized, no, it's a closet. And then they realized, no, it's a room. And then they realized, no, it's a warehouse. Right? That's the way the story unfolded for them. And I think to us, it's not only that in terms of how many, the numbers, and the system of the church, but also how it encompassed the entire city of Boston. And that, I think, is the thing that is the real tragedy and the thing to really think about, when, especially when things like this continue to happen at Penn State, or, at the BBC with Jimmy Savile, or with Bill Cosby, right? It's always these good, quote-unquote, institutions, and I think Cosby is sort of an institution, and yet people look the other way, and it's not just the bad actor, but it's the people around the bad actor, and I think that's what's kind of interesting and powerful and something we all need to think about as a greater American community.